This lesson is for 7th grade for October 18th, 2016. We started off by reviewing previous concepts that we've already gone over, which are in the previous video on October 17th. Tap and cub, how to read, meaning reading the prompts twice, reading the articles twice, how to plan, everything you need for an introduction paragraph, the meaning of peel, and how to do a body paragraph. Well, today we're going to focus on conclusion. Now, conclusions end your essay with a wrap-up paragraph. Your first sentence should restate your claim or controlling idea. Restating means putting it in another way, but saying the same thing. The next few sentences review the overall idea you were discussing in the introduction. The final sentence is meant to leave an impression. Thus, it should have an interesting fact or idea for your reader to consider. Some general tips for conclusions. Do not announce your conclusion. So, in conclusion, now that you have read my essay, let me wrap up by. Those are used way too frequently. Now, in conclusion will technically work, but I would strongly suggest you try to find another way to do so. Look at the transitions that were located in October 17th's video, and you'll see some better ways of doing so. Do not repeat all your points. Trust that your reader can remember them from 2 minutes ago. Instead, discuss the ideas that you were discussing in your intro paragraph, and the idea that's presented by your restated claim in your conclusion. Do not introduce new ideas, points, or supports. You should have already put these in your supporting paragraphs. You don't want anything new in your conclusion. This is to end your essay. If there's something new, it needs evidence, it needs elaboration, which means it's yet another body paragraph. So when you're ending your essay, literally end your essay. Nothing new. Now, this paragraph you saw yesterday. I'm going to bring it to your attention again for one reason. I want to show you how the conclusion paragraph mirrors the introduction paragraph. So the introduction paragraph starts off with a green hook, blue development, and a red claim. Okay? The introduction paragraph reads, "Believe it or not, fear is not something to be afraid of. It is one of the most basic and primal of human emotions. All animals feel it, and its purpose is to alert and protect the one feeling it. While some may experience phobias or uncontrolled fears, this frightening sensation is very misunderstood and exists for a number of reasons. Considering all people feel and experience fear, there can be no doubt that fear is real." Now, again, pay attention to the colors. See how they changed? Red's now on the top, green is now on the bottom. Okay? So, your restated claim should see fear is unmistakably real. Let's try that again. Fear is unmistakably real, as it is felt by all people. While it may not be fully understood or explained, there can be no doubt fear exists. It is an emotion every member of the animal kingdom fears, or feels, supposed to be feels, from the hunters to the hunted. It is designed to keep its bearer away from danger. However, should the system of protection ever fail, anything could happen. Now, as you look in the previous slide, the introduction, the claim is at the bottom, right? Considering all people feel and experience fear, there can be no doubt that fear is real. The conclusion should literally restate that, but in a different way. That's what restating means. You're not repeating, you're restating. So you're using the same idea, fear is unmistakably real, as it is felt by all people. I'm saying the same thing, but I'm saying it in a different way. I continue to talk about the idea that I mentioned in the introduction paragraph, and by the conclusion. Okay, fear is real and is felt by everybody. I continue with that idea for the next 3 sentences. Like the intro paragraph, your conclusion can be shorter, around 5 to 7 sentences. That green sentence at the end is that open-ended ending. You want to have your last words, your last sentence, give your audience an idea to think about. It takes some practice, and it's usually one of the more difficult things to do in an essay. But you're going to be able to do it just fine. Again, you're going to be looking for those ideas, something that's going to keep your audience thinking about your essay after you have finished it. Now, put it all together. Once you're done, you have written the essay. Congratulations, by the way. Now, we have some editing to do. Go back and look at your word choice. In specific, look at verbs and phrasing. Sometimes, if you have the time to be able to edit, go back and look at these and see if you can't find a better way of saying the same thing that you are currently saying. Spelling. Do not be a lazy speller. What I mean by lazy spelling is the following. If you see a word that is in the prompt or the articles, and it is spelled out for you, please spell it correctly. If you do not, that's considered lazy spelling. You will be counted off for that in the actual FSA writing. It's just common sense. So, if the actual word is written in front of you, make sure you spell it correctly. If you are not sure, double check. And grammar and punctuation. Always double check this before you turn in anything. Here's a nice checklist for writing. Answers the prompt. Does your piece answer the prompt? Do you have a grabber? Does it work? Do your points match your claim? Does your evidence have a paraphrase and a direct quote? Does your evidence prove your claim? Does your elaboration explain your evidence? Does your elaboration have the evidence ratio, elaboration evidence ratio, which is 3:1, three sentences of elaboration per one sentence of evidence? Was your claim restated in your conclusion, and were at least 4 transitions used? Now, formal versus informal writing. Informal writing uses slang and abbreviations, such as, all the ones that you use whenever you're talking to your friends. Because the audience for informal writing is your friends, your family, social media. You write the way you normally speak. That's your informal voice. Formal writing is different. It's a more polished or sophisticated way of how you speak. You use a different diction or voice in your writing to sound more professional. Formal writing is used in school and professional jobs. It's still you speaking, but it doesn't sound the way you normally sound. It sounds like a smarter version of you. That's not to say you're not smart, but you need to use the correct phrases and correct grammar, and everything else needs to be a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more polished than you would if you were to speak to your friends. Think about it this way. You use different terms and different stories and different personality traits when you're with your friends than you do when you're around an adult, a teacher, or a parent. There are certain words you'll say around your friends that you wouldn't dare say in front of an adult. Likewise, there are certain outfits that go along with certain environments. So, if you are at school, you're going to wear your normal school clothes. If you were to dress formally, you wouldn't exactly fit in. Likewise, if you were to go to a fancy party and you showed up wearing what you would wear to the beach, you're not going to fit in. Formal and informal writing should be just that different. Last thing I want to mention are what I call forbidden words. Now, because of formal writing, it is best to avoid using the following words unless specifically stated. I, I'm, I'll, I've, you, your, you've, you'll, your, me, my, mine, yours, we, we'll, we've, we're, our, ours, us, myself, yourself, and ourselves. All of those words are words you would use in a conversational text. Now, there are some essays that will ask you specifically for your opinion. Most of the ones you're going to do for the FSA or the practice ones, you're not going to use these forbidden words. I don't need you to tell me what you're writing about. You're the one writing it, so I don't need to see words like I or you. You can talk to your audience without using these words, because you are quite literally having that conversation with them while you are writing. That concludes the lesson for October 18th, 2016.